flashy show. Man, this is weird. You don't just write somebody off because of it. Never helps to. As many of you know, I've been on this journey, the Ren journey, the Ren train, and I've just been so impressed with him musically. And on the most recent video that I did reacting to him, I just had this new, profound respect for him as a person, aside from artistry and musical prowess. I can't even say that word. Just so much respect for him. And a lot of people were commenting and saying that I should watch his 1 million subscriber defining success video to kind of get more of an understanding of who he is as a person. So that's what I'm going to be watching today. And I just want to thank everybody who has subscribed to this channel, who participates in the comments below and everything. It means a lot to me. I'm just a public school PE history guitar teacher, and I started this to find new music. And anyways, I appreciate all of you. And if my voice sounds a little odd, I am sick. I've been sick for like the past week, so.
I want to keep this short and sweet because I wrote something that I want to share with you. But first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am. I've reached 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is a flipping huge milestone. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who supported my music over the years, whether you're newly on board or have been here for a while. I wanted to say thank you to the YouTube reaction community who have gotten behind my stuff in a big way and really helped me reach this goal. So thank you guys.
Right away, I just want to say how different this is for a YouTuber. I'm so new to Ren, I'm not sure exactly like if he got his start on YouTube. I'm beginning to think like this is where he's got his start. Like his platform was on YouTube as far as like getting discovered. But it says something that at 1 million subscribers, this is the type of video that he's creating rather than this big flashy show. It emphasizes that authenticity that so many people love about him. And right away, I'm just seeing such like humility. 1 million subscribers and making a video like this that isn't big and flashy and egotistical. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to read this passage that I wrote about success. It's too much for me to remember right now, so bear with me. But yeah, success to me means that I have a responsibility that transcends me. If I have a platform where people are paying attention, then I feel like it's my duty to make that count. It's far more important than my aspirations with music and what I could personally gain.
I wish I can slow this down because there's just so much that he's saying already in the beginning here that I just love. Like this is going to be cheesy, but it reminds me of like Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. And in a sense, like Ren's power is his platform, his influence that he has, all of the eyes and the 1 million subscribers that he has, and how he's saying that he has a responsibility to do something with that is bigger than himself. I try to think of like how many other YouTubers at 1 million subscribers say that.
There's a saying that stuck with me recently, which was a rising tide lifts all ships. Somehow, by finding success for myself has meant that I can find success for the people around me, and that makes me feel very rich.
What can make a person feel more rich than that?
I'm in a very strange position right now where I owe much of my success to the most destructive force in my life, which has been the turbulence of my physical and mental illness. The thing that has by far brought me the most pain has been a source of constant inspiration, which ironically led to creations which brought me the most joy.
He says ironically brought me to the most inspirations. I didn't catch everything that he said there, but I feel like that is the case with so many artists, and even within myself, of creating music. I find that like it's within the most painful seasons of my life that I have produced the most amount of music, and music that is special. So it makes, I know he's calling it ironic, I almost look at it as it makes perfect sense. You know, I think this happens a lot.
Creating art which means something to somebody else and can potentially be a companion to somebody else in the dark justifies my own pain. And I desperately needed that to be justified. There are a lot of people alive today who live in the dark. It's a place that I'm very familiar with. In the peak of my health problems, I was severely underweight. All my meals had to be restricted and blended, and I was so tired that I couldn't participate in life. I couldn't socialize, I couldn't watch films, I couldn't read. My bones constantly hurt. Even standing in the shower was excruciating and exhausting. And this went on for years, with no answers. Nobody could have ever convinced me during that time that my pain and suffering would be a source for something good, because it felt insidious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Nobody could have.
So relatable. Like you can't, when you're in that season, when you're in that season of darkness and in pain, you can't, it's so hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And maybe I haven't listened to enough of Ren's music to say this with confidence, but from the amount of comments that I see and fans that he has, it is clear that he has helped people see the light at the end of the tunnel through his music, or through even just his being, I guess.
Ever convinced me that something constructive can come from hurting every day.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm
And
here to tell you.
You can just see the authenticity too. Like you can tell he is trying to keep it together. He's kind of breaking down here. I'm pausing because I'm just like running through my mind of any other YouTuber that feels as authentic, musicianship wise or not.
That if you are hurting every day, don't be afraid. One thing I know to be a certain, to be a constant law of the universe, is that life is inconsistent. Life is beautiful and life is hideous. Life is kind and life is cruel. Dancing inside this dichotomy and inconsistency makes me know that you won't hurt forever. Whether that comes from resolution of what you're going through or acceptance of where you are, you won't hurt forever.
I gotta say, I pride myself on being someone that can hold my composure. And a lot of times, like, music won't make me cry, and watching things like this won't make me cry. And I think it's just kind of like a skill that I've developed to like harden myself because I'm a teacher. And I don't know, you kind of learn to do that as a teacher. But also, as a teacher, I'm listening to this through the lens of my students, and that gets to me. Like, I would wish that my students would hear this.
You don't know yet whether or not your pain conceals gold. It definitely conceals wisdom, and it's definitely a catalyst for filling you with empathy. So stand strong, my friends, and don't let the darkness consume you, because once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light. You could
so
be
true.
instrumental for changing this world for the better. There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself because you are large. You can be ferocious.
There's nothing humble about doubting or shrinking yourself. That is profound in and of itself. Like, a lot of times, like, we try to act humble, or like we have humility and there's something good there. Like, I'm just gonna rewind real quick, because what did he say?
Shrinking or doubting yourself for the better.
There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself. For me, I'm understanding it as in, don't discredit yourself. Give yourself the acknowledgement that you deserve.
There's nothing humble about shrinking or doubting yourself because you are large. You can be ferocious and you could be magnificent.
You shouldn't hide
For
it.
the medical industry, who too often let people fall through the cracks, it's your duty to do better. For the people living in the light, who have either stepped out of their shadow or have never had to walk beside it, it's your responsibility to put out untainted love. Our own greed, desire to ferociously expand, and decisions rooted in self-interest can benefit ourselves in a material sense, but can be very destructive to the hive and the world around us, ultimately hurting ourselves. So we really must consider that if we're going to step into a bright future. As humans, we have an incredible potential, and it would be a shame to throw it away. So community, humanity, and changing our relationship with the natural world so it leans more towards homeostasis must be a priority.
This is golden. every year, I know I'm leaning real heavy on the aspect of teaching here, but that's because it's what I do on a daily basis. And the amount that I'm inspired when I hear this speech, as far as like what I want to say to my students, like I think I'm gonna pull some quotes out of here and use it in class for sure.
Number one. If you're watching this and there's a knot tied up in your stomach with bitterness, anger, or hatred for your fellow human being, be with it, feel it, understand it, express it, and then let it go. You're hurting. Give yourself love, forgive yourself, and then project that love outwards, and the anger will pass. We have a decision in every interaction to tilt the world towards heaven.
That's very smart there too. That's very like, just even in therapy, you know, I've had therapists tell me basically like you are deserving to express to people how they have hurt you. I think a lot of people forget that. For me personally, like I've lost some people in my life because of like being angry at them and expressing it too strongly. And I did have to learn how to do it in a way that was loving, both to them and to myself. But there was a season of time in which it was very difficult to want to express any type of anger because of the fear of losing people. I'm going on a tangent here, but I just find it very wise what he's saying here. You know, to be able to express it, I would just add like in a loving way, but I think he understands that, and I think he means that. I don't think he means to be overly aggressive, you know.
Or hell, towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia, and some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts.
I gotta rewind it one more time
with
here.
Respect. Towards Jannah or Jahannam, utopia or dystopia, and some people's ideas of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect.
Absolutely.
Tapestries.
Yeah, this is just like I know I'm going real hard on the teacher stuff. One of the subjects I teach is history, and we talk about the polarization in politics. And I don't want to get into politics here, but I always tell my students about how it never helps to end the conversation, and that you should respect somebody else's ideas and try to understand where they come from having those ideas, so that way you can better respect it, because it's very ever rarely so black and white, so right or wrong, and there's nuance to it, and you don't get to that nuance until you conversate about it, and until you don't just write somebody off because of what they subscribe to. You give them the opportunity to express. I'm going way off here, but it's what it's making me think of.
Of heaven will be another's image of hell. So tread carefully, but treat those differences with respect. Tapestries are made beautiful because of the variety in the sum of their parts. Thank you to 1 million people inside this rich tapestry for the opportunity for me to try and spread my own vision of what I believe to be good. And thank you for justifying my pain. Thank you. I love you.
Again, I pride myself on holding my composure, and I am holding my composure right now. But as somebody who has only listened to a handful of Ren's stuff, man, this is weird. Who has only listened to a handful of Ren's stuff, I see somebody who has immense influence, a huge platform, and who is being who I would think is the best example on YouTube of how to handle it. I commend him 110%. And I'm going to end this video here because yeah, thanks for watching.